Hey everyone, I'm Michael Pellegrini, CTO at Cappers. In this video, I'd like to give you a quick demonstration of how I handicap Major League Baseball games using the Cappers application. Before we get started, I'll say that if you're looking for a more in-depth tutorial style video, the most recent video that I did before this, which was actually yesterday, the day that we did our initial beta launch, has a lot more detail. That one's about 33 minutes long, and I go through the entire process with quite a few different games. That video outlined two plays for us, both of which were underdogs on the money line with positive payouts. We had the Tigers getting plus 115, and I ended up getting plus 149 on the Cubs at the Yankees from my sports book. I went 1-1. The Tigers lost, but the Cubs ended up winning. 1 unit per play, ended up with a 0.49 unit or half a unit gain on the day. So 25% gain on a 2 unit play. So I'll definitely take that. We've got a pair of them again to play. These are both Road Underdogs, which is our most profitable system so far this season. Full disclosure, so far with the Road Underdog system this year, I've got a record of 32 and 33, so one game under 500. However, the beauty of this system is that you're always getting a positive payout on a moneyline play for a Road Underdog. So going one game under 500, I'm still up nearly 12 units, and we're not even halfway through the season yet. So it's definitely a good system. If you want to learn more about the Road Underdog system, I recently wrote a blog article for the Cappers blog, and I will link to that in the description of this video. Check that out if you like. So we can go ahead and jump into this. One more thing before we get started. Because we're so close to our beta launch, we are offering introductory pricing to our first 100 paid subscribers. If you're watching this and you happen to take advantage of that, please do. But even if it's later on, we always offer a 3-day free trial. So you're at zero financial risk if you want to sign up for an account. You can sign up for either a 1-month subscription or an annual subscription. Either way, you're going to get 3 days for free. If you decide to cancel, which we hope you don't, but if you do decide to cancel during those first 72 hours, you simply go to your user profile page. You can see there's a link to it right here on the homepage as well as in the top corner. There's instructions there to cancel your account, and you can certainly do that within 72 hours and you will not be charged. Again, we hope you don't do that. We hope that you can see the value that our platform is providing and that you'll stick with us because there's a lot more to come. We're already supporting baseball, as you're about to see, but we've got NBA and hockey already built. Those are going to be upgraded for the coming season, and we've got NFL in the works that'll definitely be ready before season kickoff in September. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and take a look at two Road Underdogs today. The date is Saturday, July 8th, 2023. I wanted to get this video out relatively early so that you have time to make these plays. I'm located in the Pacific time zone, and therefore the first game is the Seattle Mariners at the Houston Astros at 4:15 Pacific time. We'll click that from the homepage, and you can see that we're jumped over to the MLB form here. We've got the initial part of the form populated for us, and then we've got some odds to check from various bookmakers. We offer odds from DraftKings, FanDuel, and BetMGM. I'm going to go right here in the middle by clicking the radio button next to FanDuel. That's going to populate the rest of the form for me. If you would prefer to enter odds manually, you're certainly welcome to do that. There's quite a few different bookmakers out there. They each have their own lines. So you can do that, or if you'd rather just go with one that's offered by these three, feel free to do that as a convenience. So I'll click submit here. It takes milliseconds for us to get a response, and we can start looking at the data that's come back. So we can see current season team records. Mariners are 20 and 23 on the road this season, while the Astros are 24 and 21 at home. We can look at current season team stats, compare all kinds of different offensive and defensive pitching stats, all that stuff. And then head-to-head stats, obviously these are division rivals. Houston's definitely had the better of that matchup, but not a huge surprise. I mean, they're the returning World Series champions. Recent odds, we were just seeing that, but not only do we have the money line for the game winner, we also have the point spread, also known as the run line in baseball, and then we also have over-under odds available from each of those bookmakers. Something that I think is really important in this particular game is when we look at the money line movement. We can see that Seattle was more of a dog earlier if we were looking at yesterday afternoon and going in through the night. And then things started coming down. I was looking at this earlier this morning when it was more around here and I was interested, but then some sort of major movement, probably institutional money, was coming in on the Mariners, and it came much down closer to an even money bet here. So I've already actually placed a unit on the Mariners here as a road underdog. And we can see that there's a corresponding line change in the other direction for Houston. They were more of a favorite around minus 140-ish, and then that went down drastically. Now they're closer to 120. Probable pitchers. Really important. You're always going to want to look at the pitching matchup for any baseball game before making a bet. In this case, Brian Wu for the Mariners, not terribly impressive, 1-1 with a 4.08 ERA. He's only pitched 28 innings this season, so not a lot to go off of. But I'm really kind of looking more strongly at the most recent game. 5 innings pitched, only 1 earned run with 7 strikeouts and only 1 walk. That was versus the Nationals, not exactly a great opponent, but a nice outing, and I like to see a good outing from my starting pitcher in their most recent contest. Framber Valdez, one of the best ERAs in baseball, but only a 7-6 record. 105 innings pitched, so he's already racking them up for this season. When we look at his last game, he went 6 innings, gave up 4, struck out 6, and walked 3. So I would say not as good of a performance in his last game out compared to Brian Wu. We can see when we look at the MLB pitching leaders that Framber Valdez has the second best ERA in baseball and also the second best OPS in baseball. So that's definitely a consideration to make. But the Road Underdogs system, which again is my most profitable system in baseball so far this year, is looking at recent performance for both teams. It's not looking at the entire season. The whole idea is we're trying to catch a team as they're getting hot. We're looking at recent offensive and defensive performance for both teams. We're running some calculations, and based on those calculations, we're seeing that the Mariners should be a minus 162 favorite when they're being offered at 102. That's 64 points of value that we're calculating on the Mariners. That's definitely enough for me to be very interested in this game. Our criteria is basically to bet this game based on the strength of pitching for the Astros. Use the probable pitchers for this game section as well as the MLB pitching leaders section to make your decision. For me, it comes down to, I like some of the numbers that Valdez has, but I don't think that his last outing was that impressive. On the flip side, Wu doesn't have a ton to go off of, but his last outing was looking good to me. I like the line movement in favor of the Mariners. Based on that and the fact that I'm betting this in pairs, we're going to look at the other game in a second. This is going to be one of my 2 bets for the day. In fact, again, it already is. I've already placed a unit on this one. So with that said, we're going to look at another game. The other game that we're looking at today is going to be the Mets at the Padres. And we've got a variety of odds from our 3 bookmakers. Again, I'll just take the one in the middle here. We'll go with FanDuel's odds. They've got the Mets at plus 150. Click the radio button, and that's going to auto-populate the remainder of the form for me. Submit the form, and here comes our results. One thing to call out right away is that the Mets had a terrible month of June. I mean, I think they were the worst team in baseball in the month of June. And, that definitely slides public perception in a certain direction. They seem to be turning it around. As I already mentioned in the last game, our Road Underdog system is looking at recent performance. We're trying to catch a team while they're getting hot, and that appears to be what the Mets are doing. So this, to me, is already feeling like a game that, based on the price, the underdog price, that we could be catching the Mets on a turnaround and fading that public perception based on their performance last month in June. So if we look at line movement, fairly steady. It's been right around that 145, 150 mark the whole time for the Mets. So not much movement like we were seeing in the last game. Same thing for the Padres, kind of staying steady there. But let's take a look at the pitching. Now, right off the bat, I'm looking at this for David Peterson of the Mets, and I'm saying, a 2-6 record with 6.61 ERA. I'm not liking that very much. That's not very impressive. But let's dig a little bit deeper. So let's see. In his last game out, 6 innings pitched versus the Brewers, pretty solid opponent, gave up no earned runs, struck out 5, walked 3. And in his last game against the Padres this season, went 5.2 with only 2 earned runs, struck out 6, and only walked 2. So that's pretty encouraging. Again, bad month of June for the Mets. They were playing terrible as a team. But as we can see here for Peterson, maybe it's not as bad as it looks when you're just looking at those top-level stats for him. Now let's compare him to the probable pitcher for the Padres, which is Blake Snell. A losing record of 5-7, better ERA for sure, 3.03, but gotten a lot more innings in this season and could be getting a little bit more tired. I mean, he's already thrown 92 innings this year compared to only 49 innings for Peterson, so probably a fresher arm there for the Mets for sure. If we look at Snell's last game and last game versus the Mets, so let's see, last game out, that was versus the Pirates. He went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, struck out 10. Pretty impressive there with a couple walks. And then his last game versus the Mets, he went only 5 innings, gave up 3, struck out 5, and walked 5 guys. So that's not that great. If we're looking at our leaders section here, neither of these guys is going to appear as an MLB pitching leader, so I'm not concerned about that. We look at our Road Underdogs system, and according to our calculations, the Mets should be favored at minus 125. Betting the Mets in this spot provides 75 points of value. So again, we're going to look at the pitching strength for both teams, and we're going to make our decision based on that. Based on the Mets turning it around more recently, good outings in the past contest for David Peterson. I feel pretty good about this. It's a later start time, so I'm probably going to watch this a little bit more. But as I've mentioned earlier and also in the previous video, I like betting positive payout underdogs in pairs because you only have to win 1 out of 2 to turn a profit. Going 1-1 when we've got value, when we're identifying value like this, going 1-1 is going to be the most likely outcome, and that's going to turn a profit. It did for me yesterday, and it's been doing that all season long. Obviously, you can go 0-2, but I find that it's even more likely that you'll go 2-0. So these are my 2 plays for today. Not going to be doing videos like this every day. Obviously, it is a paid service, but we just recently did our beta launch. We're trying to get the word out there. And again, what is going to continue constantly is that 3-day free trial. So you're under no risk. If you want to get started, you want to start using our platform, we're certainly open to feedback. You can email us at support@cappers.ai. If you feel that we're missing features or there's something that you would like to see, we're all ears. We want to tailor this to our customers' needs and make it the best platform that it can be. Our early customers are extremely important to us, so we encourage you to check it out and let us know what you think. So that's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, cappers.ai is our video. Is our website. But thank you for checking out this video. Check out the blog posts. You'll see a link in the description to the Road Underdog system to learn more about that. And we'd love to see you on our platform. Please get started with that free trial today. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.